So today we're going to talk about the difference between upper cervical care, general chiropractic, and the medical community by explaining a little bit about what it is that we do. We have this little model here to give you a demonstration or an idea of what it is that we do and what we're looking for. This little model here would be considered the base of the skull, and this would be your spine heading down into your spinal cord. The brain sits inside here, it exits this hole, enters into the spine. These are the top two bones in your neck. That black tape represents the inferior brainstem. The inferior brainstem runs every function in your body. Then it turns into our traditional spinal cord, going out in between the vertebrae to the heart, the lungs, the lower back to your head, neck, and face. What we're looking for is a thing called a subluxation. A subluxation is when a bone goes out of place and gets stuck and can't come back on its own. The rest of the spine, you can see, has these little spinuses that stick off of here and it goes all the way down the spine where muscles attach to it. And the body can actually correct most of that. So it's pretty rare that you'll actually get a subluxation throughout the rest of the spine. Most of the time you'll get what we call compensatory misalignments. And sometimes you know how your back will be out and a couple days later you'll stretch and it goes pop and you'll feel it and you're like, oh, that feels good. Well, that's because the body's able to correct itself. This bone right here is a very unique bone, the top bone. It's called the atlas. It's kind of shaped different than the rest of the bones. It's the only free-moving bone in the entire spine. It's not connected to the rest of the spine, so it doesn't have the leverage to correct itself. It gets stuck. When it gets stuck, it can't get itself back. Okay, so a couple things we're looking for. We get a subluxation. You can see that this little 3-ounce bone takes this 14-pound head with it. And when the head goes with it, it's no longer level to the horizon. That is a problem because of this. So I'll over-exaggerate just a bit for teaching purposes, but if I'm subluxated, my head is off to the horizon. In my brain, I have a thing called the righting reflex. The righting reflex is there to make sure that my eyes are always level to the horizon. So if I'm not level to the horizon, the reflex will get excited and tell the brain it needs to correct it. And the only time your body can repair itself is when? It's when you're sleeping. So while you're asleep, the brain will get the signal from the reflex saying we need to correct this subluxation, the bone's out of place, we're no longer level to the horizon. So the brain will tell the muscles pull the bone back where it belongs. Well, if the muscles did their job, you'll wake up in the morning, you won't know any better, you'll brush your teeth, you'll head on for the day, and life is good. Now, if the muscles didn't get the bone back, you'll wake up in the morning and be like, oh man, my neck hurts, my lower back hurts. And what does everybody say? I must have, that's right, slept wrong. You didn't sleep wrong. Your muscles are in pain right now because all night long they've been working to pull that bone back into place. Now you stand up, get out of bed, your neck hurts, your back hurts, and your eyes are still not level to the horizon. Now the reflex, being a primitive reflex, can override the brain. The first thing it will do is it'll tell the brain to release chemicals to deaden the nerves. Once those nerves are deadened in your body, you can function throughout the day and go to work. That's why later on, a couple hours later, you seem to be able to go ahead with the day and do just fine. But when you come home at the end of the day and you sit down, you no longer need to function, that pain comes back, right? Because it no longer needs to deaden the nerve for functionality. The next thing it'll do is it will take the body and it'll lift the shoulder up or twist the back or pop up a hip. It will take the spine and it will twist, turn, and bend, whatever it needs to do to keep this level to the horizon. Okay? So that can cause your neck pains, your back pains, and all the soreness and imbalance in the body. But more importantly, it can cause long-term issues. And I'll give you an example. If I have a 200-pound person and I put 1 foot on this scale, 1 foot on this scale, and they weigh about 100 pounds on each scale, give or take a pound, when they're balanced. If they're subluxated, they could be leaning to one side. And they could weigh 130, 140 pounds on this leg and only 60 to 70 pounds on this leg. Now, no big deal for a little bit of time, but 15, 20 years later, which hip you think is going to go out? Which knee you think is going to go out? That's right, the heavy one over here. You ever wonder why when people get older, it's always one hip that gets replaced? It's because that imbalance occurs. Now, common sense says that if you have a tire that's out of alignment and it's over to the side and it wears out, what do? You replace the tire, but you fix the alignment. But what does the orthopedic surgeon do? He just puts a new tire on. So unless you fix the source of the problem, which is right here, then you're going to continue to have imbalance issues. Now the second thing we're looking for is when this little atlas goes out of place, it puts pressure on the inferior brainstem, and this can be far more serious than lower back and neck pain and headaches. This could cause fibromyalgia, it could cause multiple sclerosis, cancer, reproductive issues. People are sterile because of this, digestive problems. I mean, the list goes on and on and on because, once again, the inferior brainstem runs every function of the body. So what we need to do is we need to analyze this part of the neck right here around the brainstem. We need to take a three-dimensional image from the front, from the side, and from the bottom, so that I know exactly how these bones are shaped, how they articulate with the neck, how they articulate with the spine, so that I know exactly what way they're moving, okay? Once I have that analysis in me, that I can figure out how to fix this, then I can come up with a very specific adjustment, very light, a gentle adjustment. Put this bone right back where it belongs, and through muscle memory, the body will hold the bone where it belongs and restructure the entire spine to bring you back level to the horizon and take the pressure off the inferior brainstem so the body can function at 100%. That is what upper cervical does. There's no cracking or twisting of the neck. It's a specific, precise adjustment of the atlas to take pressure off the brainstem to bring the power that made the body, the ability to heal the body. Thank you.